Kotaku is the laughingstock of the gaming industry. They have been mocked and ridiculed for their coverage and hypocrisy over things like Stellar Blade. They are facing tons of scrutiny because of their senior editor, Alyssa Mercante, and now the dumpster fire at Kotaku has gotten even worse because they've laid off multiple staff members after things like the Stellar Blade censorship controversy. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, right off the bat, I will say, I do not think Kotaku should be a site anymore. I do not think that it should be an active outlet. Kotaku is a thing of the past, and they no longer resonate with the gaming audience that they previously had. There have been so many instances where they have been so completely out of touch, and when you have had a plethora of different writers and they all share the same opinions and they don't actually represent what the gaming industry is all about and how consumers feel about products, you're really not in a good situation. You're not in a spot where you are ever going to grow, and you are only going to whittle down your viewership numbers, and that is exactly what has happened with them. And now the dumpster fire has gotten even worse because they have laid off multiple people, even though they don't have many individuals left working for them. This is a Fandom Pulse article. It says less than 2 months has passed since Sleaze Rad, Kotaku's editor-in-chief, has resigned over Kotaku's writers being instructed to do less propaganda hit pieces and instead to focus on gaming manuals. 4 more staff members have been laid off, one of whom is Levi Winslow, who wrote the recent pro-censorship hit piece, Stellar Blade's Eve is hottest when she's not revealing anything. And I did cover that in a previous video, but Kotaku is filled with hypocrites because people like Levi have praised things like Baldur's Gate 3 and all of the nudity and the sexuality, and I think all of it is fine. I'm just gonna say it. I don't see a problem with any of it. I think if the Baldur's Gate 3s are able to exist, the Stellar Blade should be able to exist, especially where Stellar Blade was much less revealing than some of these other games, but now they're doing things like praising Hades 2, which again, I know a lot of people have been excited for. I'm not really going after the game itself, but the sheer and utter hypocrisy of these idiots. As it says, in March, Fandom Pulse reported that Jen Glennon, who took on the role of editor-in-chief in October of the previous year, submitted her resignation to Kotaku, the video game news and strategy website. I don't even think they deserve that title. It is the one that they have, though. I mean, it's unfortunate that one of the more prevalent sites within the industry, or at least they were at one point, is filled with political activists who could not work at an MSNBC, so they had to find another industry to infiltrate, and that happened to be the gaming industry. I mean, the state of the gaming right now is pretty poor. Yes, it's at an all-time high for the amount of money that it's bringing in, and I think that that is good, and I want to see the industry be extremely successful, but these people are seriously damaging what already exists. It's like they are sinking with the ship of the Kotakus, the gamers, and they really want to try to cause as much damage before they are ousted as possible. It says Glennon stated in her resignation letter that the management's recent decision to prioritize guides over news led to her decision to step down. Oh my god, that's so terrible! Like, gaming news outlet having to write gaming guides? Who could have imagined? And then, of course, we actually saw some of these hack journos say that they were going to use ChatGPT to write 50 articles a day, which definitely did not bode well with upper management, I'm sure. But now we've found out that there have been multiple staff members laid off. This is news that started with Levi Winslow. Geo Media laid me off along with 3 other video folks, all of whom are my good friends. It was a turbulent ride with a shitty ending, but despite the ups and downs, I'm proud of what we done. Now I'm gonna go cry. G Media gonna G Media, this sucks. It might suck for you, it might suck for some of the other people that got laid off, but at the end of the day, Kotaku is not going to survive. It doesn't matter if they lay off almost everybody everybody when they are not laying off people like Alyssa Mercante who are doing irreparable damage to their image, even though everyone that has ever worked for them has already done that. It's not going to bring in new viewers. Like people like me, I'm not going to click on Kotaku and go to Kotaku when I need a guide, when you have people like that employed. And there actually is a bit of a rumor circulating that Alyssa was laid off, but this is not confirmed in any way, shape, or form. Basically, it stems from her X account. As you can see in her bio, it has said for a long time at this point, senior editor at Kotaku, former Games Radar, bylines Jezebel, she, her, views, mine, all that. And now it does not say that. Now it simply says senior editor for bylines, which of course is a political website, Jezebel Game Radar. So there are people who are thinking that maybe she was actually laid off, but at the same time, her email is still the Kotaku one, and if she was fully laid off, you'd think that that would not be there anymore, that if she was going to remove Kotaku from her bio, she would also remove the email or put a new email there. It seems to me that she's just kind of fishing for attention. This is unconfirmed though, so maybe she was actually laid off and she is, you know, one job down, but we don't actually have any confirmation of that. It's just speculation at this point, and knowing Alyssa, she would fish for any kind of attention that she could get. But it also says Levi and the rest of the staff should probably have heeded the warning in Geo Media's requirements to focus on gaming manuals. Yeah, I mean, even though they still have a very bad reputation with gamers, I still think that if they had really pumped out high quality guides, they could have gotten some people back. There are normies, I'm sure, who do not follow the culture war and everything that goes on social media, know nothing about the Alyssa Mercantes of Kotaku, who do just go to their site when they're looking for something casual to read, when they want to just skim some general gaming news. But when they are putting out hit pieces on games like Stellar Blade and showing their sheer hypocrisy, they're not going to gain anybody else back like you and me and other people who are aware of their absolutely pathetic behavior on social media. Of course, at the end of the day, I don't think that this is going to change anything for Kotaku. I don't think that they're magically going to get their viewership numbers up, and I don't think that this is going to make that much of a difference in the eyes of potential viewers. Kotaku is an absolute dumpster fire. They have been that way for years, and they will always be that way, and I will be keeping my eye on this to see if anyone else gets laid off, or if any of these, you know, disgruntled ex-employees decide to make any statements about Kotaku. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.